Hello everyone, I'm the Viking General, and this short video is about Ogre Kingdoms in Total War Warhammer 3. Let's begin. The Ogre Kingdoms have two options for legendary lords. The first option is Grease's Goldtooth from the Goldtooth faction, who is a anti-large melee fighter. His faction revolves around trade and all his units have 25% more mass. His personal buffs give him a bit of a bandit playstyle, and the upkeep reduction for Iron Guts is pretty strong. Your second option is Scrag the Slaughterer from the Disciples of the Maw faction. He's a spellcaster who uses the lore of the Great Maw, and he's a pretty good melee fighter to boot. His faction gives extra campaign movement range, which is great, and buffs the use of the Butcher Hero. He personally makes using Gorgas a lot more accessible, which are monsters infantry with Stole. The Ogre Kingdoms have a unique resource called Meat, which is tracked separately for each army. Besides the normal gold upkeep, each army will also have a meat upkeep, and when the meat runs out, the army will suffer attrition. There is also the option to sacrifice meat to the Great Maw, which will allow you to choose between 4 options that buff your army. Meat can also be used just before the battle to increase some stats for all of your units. Ogres do not have any standard province capital buildings. All the territory they capture can only be built up to tier 3. However, they can put down camps anywhere on the map, as long as it's not too close to another city. This camp will basically function for them as a province capital, since this camp can be built up to tier 5. Camps also give some benefits in an area around them, most notably ogre armies no longer consuming meat. Camps are pretty much comparable to Black Arcs from the Dark Hells, although they can't move and are built on land. The Ogre Kingdoms have access to the mercenary contract mechanic. This will allow them to earn some extra money, but it will also greatly help with increasing relations with the faction that issued that contract. Every 10 turns you have the choice to pick a contract from 3 options. The Ogre Kingdoms have 3 hero types: Butchers, Firebellies, and Hunters. Butchers are spellcasters which use either the lore of the Great Maw or the lore of Beasts. They increase replenishment rate when embedded. Firebellies are spellcasters which use the lore of fire and increase the magic item drop chance when embedded. The Hunter is a missile specialist which can buff Sabertusk pack units and can increase the campaign movement range when embedded. All their heroes are also pretty good in melee, with them being ogres of course. All legendary lords, tyrants and hunters will have access to the big names mechanic. Big names need to be unlocked by doing certain actions, and once unlocked can be selected to give a bonus to that selected character. These bonuses can also affect the local province or the army. The ogre army will generally try to charge into the enemy and keep charging around to make the most of their high charge bonus. They can use their nobblers as cheap fodder to tie down other units, while the ogres and beasts can run around smacking everything in their way. However, at higher tiers they will get access to some pretty powerful missile units. The Lead Belchers, Iron Blaster and Stonehorn with Harpoon Launcher are very strong units that can absolutely wreck their enemies from a large range. On top of that, those units are pretty strong in melee as well, so it's not even easy to take them down. In conclusion, Ogre Kingdoms are a little bit stunted with their empire building, especially in the early game. However, they have a strong roster focused on aggressively pummeling the enemy with great range options to take out high priority enemies prior to their charge. Thank you for watching.